Hey everyone, it's me Lewis, and welcome back to the second episode of the second season of Finalhazard, the Sonic podcast from Figure Eight, which I'm sure if you're watching this, you all know by now. And once again, this is our second time doing it live, so if there's some hiccups, then you'll probably know why. You probably know that's the reason. And with me, I am of course joined by my co-host Matt, as well as everyone else. And see, the way how I'm doing this now is I'm going to undeafen on Discord, and they're all going to talk, and they're all hopefully going to introduce themselves. That's not how it's going to happen, and if it does, I'll be astounded, because I can see that icons moving as if they're talking in the Discord chat, which is hysterical, and I hope they don't watch this back, because I'll sound like I'm bullying them. But yeah, I'm going to unmute, and so, who have we got with us today?
Triangulate your location.
Yeah?
Yo, you think Werewolf can stretch his asshole?
Okay.
Okay.
This is all going wrong. Anyway, what joined... Were you guys talking about triangulating assholes?
No,
No.
no, I wasn't talking about killing Ethan. I wasn't doing anything.
You know, I had this whole intro set up, and I said, like, that you guys are just gonna be fucking about, because I saw your icons moving by the time I get back to the call. It was so funny, because when I undeafened Martin, just, like, stopped immediately. Okay, so, with us, in, I guess, order from left to right, not including Matt, because I've already introduced Matt, everyone knows who Matt is.
I didn't get to introduce myself, you
Okay.
fucking bitch.
Okay, you can introduce yourself. I'm Lewis, obviously.
Oh, no,
I'm in the
no,
middle.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Just go from left to right. Let's go from left to right. Let's go from left to right.
Hello, guys. I'm Ethan Chaotic, or Ethan. I like Sonic.
No, you don't.
No, you
He's lying.
It's Martin's. No, it's Cryptic's turn.
Hi guys. I'm Monocryptic. You may know me from the hit new film Alita Battle Angel. I'm
Okay.
here to talk about Sonic Unleashed.
All right.
I'm Martin. I'm gonna kill Ethan.
Sounds good.
and I'm a hard hitter.
Okay.
Shut up!
Yeah, I'm light skin, but
All right. I just muted him. No, but so
I'm not even light skinned. That's crazy, bro.
after that awful intro, which I entirely expected, by the way, we don't actually have that much to talk about in terms of news today. We have the Team Sonic Racing scans from Famitsu, which are like a whole load of nothing, right?
Well,
Yeah.
the icons are in the game, unlike what I thought.
One
last
thing
week.
that I think I know is confirmed now is when they revealed Whale Lagoon and Ocean Palace, I was like, okay, so because I thought initially it would be there would be 3 different stage themes for each respective game, but when they revealed Whale Lagoon and Ocean Palace, I was like, oh shit, it's gonna actually be 3 different variations of the same stage theme. And I guess this scan kind of confirmed that for me. So you got another version of like Planet Wisp and whatnot, and that's kind of disappointing, honestly. I thought it was gonna have a little bit more variety than that. I'm not a big fan of it just being like 3 different versions of the same like track, sort of. And as a whole, I'm not big on the not level design, the track design here, because the description for like this, which was like I think called Eggman's Mine or something, is it's a big track with like little to no obstacles.
Yeah.
You can't really fall off, which already is something that I'm not too like big on. You know what I mean? 'Cause at that point, it's just a basic racing track where the only objective is to get in front of your opponent and stuff like that, as opposed to like avoiding obstacles and stage hazards and stuff like that. So the more I
Yeah.
hear about this game, the more just like milk toast it seems to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I'm just not excited for it at all. I think,
Yeah.
like, we got new information and there's nothing to talk about. Like, there's nothing. Like, we got a whole entire A4 page scan. There's nothing to talk about.
I think the last time we got footage of this game was like 4 months ago with
That's
what
bad.
was it? Was it Market Street? Yeah, that's really bad.
Who's
so like
your
this
daddy,
game is just
Shadow?
gonna.
Oh, the
Yeah.
this game is gonna be funny. I will admit, but maybe for the wrong reasons. I don't know.
Probably for the
Yeah.
wrong reasons.
There's nothing really here. Like there's nothing, like you said, there's nothing to talk about. Like it's just something that's coming out and that's it. So
And Crash
You
Team
know,
Racing comes out like a month later. So
right,
Yes,
which looks like
yes.
infinitely better than TSR.
that game was
already.
made in 1999.
And
Yeah.
more fun.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know,
We just know.
It,
We
it
just don't
actually
know.
separates itself from Mario Kart by like adding the whole destroying the other.
That's the
racers
thing. Yeah, that's the thing
situation.
too. TSR, like I can't. Like I know it has the shallow team mechanics and stuff, but those are really shallow, so it's not enough to differentiate it from Mario Kart in my book.
They
Like,
could have
just-
just made Double Dash and people would have been happy.
Yo,
I mean, this game's never coming out, so like,
yeah,
Okay.
they're gonna
Excuse me
keep on
while I-
showing footage
while
of
I-
TSR.
excuse me,
You
while
know,
I
like
drop
I'm
water
sort of
bottles-
hype.
water
I'm like a
bottles.
I'm like a
I'm
tiny
not
bit
really
hype.
all that
for
excited.
TSR.
It'll be something I buy when it comes out, obviously, but like
Probably.
that's really it for me. I'll play it with friends every once in a while, but it's not something I'm, you know.
I think that would be a
Listen,
fun.
excited for.
I'm just under the impression that it's never coming out.
It gets
Yeah,
delayed.
but-
Like, imagine if it got delayed like another 6 months.
That'd be
It's
fucking
never coming out.
hilarious.
Call
Oh,
me
God.
Sonic Extreme, bitch.
I think. Wait, I think all the people who were working on Transformed, like, they either left Sumo or they're not working on this game, which is why it's probably so like, just looking like really uninspired. Like, I don't think they know what to do because I remember they had a call out for track designers like 3 months ago, I think, and I remember when I saw that, I was like, yeah, this game is not going to be anything good. So.
Maybe I'll just be more happy when that game actually comes out.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
from what I saw, from what we've seen, it's just the TSR demo. No, engine. Fuck.
What, the engine from Transformed?
The All Stars Racing engine. Fuck. What the? All
Yeah,
these
yeah.
fucking games with the fucking acronyms. Fuck Sonic. I hate him. Fuck.
I do too.
And all their damn acronyms and shit.
I think. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that like. I don't know what to say. I have no opinion on this game. Like there's something I see and I'm like but there's also stuff that I see that's like cool and I'm like like again I'm not amazingly big into racing games, but I do have my 3 favorites. It's Mario Kart, Crash Team Racing, and Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed. That's 3rd for me. So seeing something that's just like below that is just
Yeah, because I expected this game to, at the very least, be on par with All Stars Racing Transformed. It was fine if it like wasn't, you know, like significantly better than that game, but like at the very least. Oh,
yeah. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just very odd. I guess you guys want to talk about Sonic Unleashed now, because
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
hang on it.
Sonic Unleashed killed my crops. It gave me acne and it fucking killed my dog. Fuck
I
Sonic.
think you're right.
Wait,
What?
before we get to that, real quick, I wanted to talk about Sonic movie shit real quick.
oh
Just
yeah,
like
you
one
did,
thing.
you did, yeah.
You did, you did.
So, okay, so Legendary Pictures is so certain that Detective Pikachu is going to be a hit that they've already like penned a writer for the sequel, like a script writer, and it's the guy who wrote the script for Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, you're joking.
Nani?
No, I'm not joking.
no, yeah,
I'm
yeah, it is.
100% fucking
100%.
serious.
That's
I saw
actually news,
this.
surprisingly.
I saw that article and I ignored it.
No, yeah, that's like it's a thing.
Wait, isn't that the
He
22
also-
Jump Street guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
The My Name Jeff? Like what are we
Yeah.
doing?
Oh, fuck.
I mean, he
my
did
God.
create a meme. So.
Yeah, he's gonna create many more by the end of this year, I can tell you.
I don't know. That's so weird. I feel like everything that's been happening in this series is like, it's nothing substantial. You know what I mean? but like everyone's always looking for something to talk about. Like when I'm
Yeah,
actually
I kind of get
when
it.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, like when I'm sitting
But
here and
Sonic-
thinking about everything that's happened in the past month, I'm just like, what like what actual big news has happened that actually warrants?
I mean,
people talking
I'd
about
say this is definitely news. I'd say this is definitely news. It's just like I don't know how to feel about it because as well like why see what I don't understand is why they would get the Sonic movie like that is why like are they that fucking confident in the first Detective Pikachu movie that like I don't understand the thought process behind it.
Yeah.
Are they actually gonna like make a sequel, or was that just like okay? Is it planned, or is it
No,
just a thought?
They
It's
already
like,
started working on like they're planning
That's-
it right now.
Yeah, that's
for
what I'm saying. Is like
release.
they've already said that this guy is going to write. They want this
Yeah.
guy to write the script for it.
Like
so
they're
it's
already setting up the sequel, so
yeah.
I mean,
like,
it could just be
movie
like
ain't
like
even
the
out yet.
script was made and then never shown. Like they made a script for what was that one? The guy who was originally Nick Cage was originally gonna play Superman. Made a
well, I
script
mean,
for him.
yeah, they're obviously not working on it. You know what I mean? Like they haven't started like production on it, but they're like in the planning like phase.
Yeah, they're like they're pretty confident that it's going to be sequel worthy.
Like yeah, so
I don't
they,
know,
it's
like,
kinda
with-
yeah.
When it comes to like video game movie track records, I don't think you want to be doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Detective Pikachu doesn't even look all that. I'm not interested.
It's gonna be a hit. It's
I'm
gonna
actually
be
Yeah.
a hit.
people
I'm
are
actually
gonna watch
excited
it.
for it. Like it probably it looks good.
I feel like a lot of
Excited for it than the
people.
fucking Sonic movie.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be excited and probably go see it just because Pokemon's a like it's like a world home name. You know
It's
what I
the
mean?
biggest media franchise of all time.
Yeah, right.
Like,
So I don't doubt it's not going to make a decent amount of money, especially since just in general it looks like they're putting at least some like a significant amount of thought into making it like presentable.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It looks like a movie that I can already like. I've already kind of seen it because the plot just looks so uninspired and like cliche. So I probably won't see it.
I mean,
but I think a lot of other
it's
people
based
based
off-
off
yeah.
the video game.
yeah, it's based off the video game.
Well, even then, it doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't. I haven't played the video game, but like based on what I've seen so far, it looks like something like I already probably can piece together what happens at the end. So I'm not too
Yeah.
into that. So.
And you say, oh, it's probably going to be a hit, but it is coming out the same
Wait, so
The
what?
same month as what?
You cut out.
Avengers 4
Avengers 4?
Oh, is
and
it?
the Aladdin live action. So,
Okay.
like,
And the
Aladdin is
live
Aladdin.
action with Will Smith as the genie. Nah, this shit failing. This shit.
No,
bombing.
yeah. I
That-
don't think
that's-
anyone's
that's
going
not
to go
gonna
see
make money.
Aladdin. But, like, to be fair, I honestly think that a Pokemon movie can probably hold its own against an Avengers.
Yeah, of course.
See,
I
that's
think it can hold its own. So.
that I think is like the big difference between the Sonic movies. Like, who the
Right.
fuck cares about Sonic anymore? Like, compare Sonic to Pokemon. Like, who cares? Like,
Yeah,
who,
that's
like
the
what normal
biggest thing.
person is
Rich
gonna?
Farm cares.
I haven't heard that in well, but like seriously though, like who's really gonna go out with their kids and watch the Sonic movie when the Pokemon
Right.
movie is like infinitely like I don't know. I think we've all talked about this before, but like the Sonic movie has no like there's nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just got
Which
nothing
is
going
why-
for it.
I think it was Ken Penders who said this, but he was like, "Who are you guys making this movie for? 'Cause if you've already upset the fan base to the point where a lot of them don't want to see it because you have a really nasty design, who do you think is going to go and actually?" Do
And this is
movie?
coming from somebody who made like a 20 billion page Echidna story for literally two
Right.
people.
yeah,
One of
it's
which
like-
was himself.
I think that's
Who's
the biggest
excited for
problem.
Dr. Kintober?
Yeah, this Sonic movie has a bad like.
God, I'm gonna
target
fucking
demographic
shit the
problem.
bed.
I don't know
Holy
who the
fuck.
movie, like-
Oh god damn
Will
it.
you shut up?
Matt's
Like-
just groaning in the background.
Yeah, Cryptic's just trying to like talk, and then you're like, oh.
I was responding to you, Ethan.
No, yeah. Actually, I think that's all I wanted to say. I don't know who they were making this movie for. I don't know who they think is going to go see this shit.
It's
Yeah.
not going to help the franchise
It
at all.
honestly reminds me of the Power Rangers movie.
Oh, that
Yeah.
shit was fire.
Before?
Don't knock
No,
it.
no, no, no. Like I
Yeah.
like the Power Rangers movie. I wouldn't go see that with my with one of my other friends who's super into Power Rangers. Like we saw it together. We thought it was gonna be bad, but we ended up really liking it. But I think
Why
the
was
movie,
the Black Power Ranger black?
like I think,
He wasn't.
yeah, he was the Asian guy. Like, what's up?
Johnny Young Bosch.
Is that his name? I don't know.
No, that
okay.
wasn't- that
in,
wasn't- that
in the
wasn't- that
original
wasn't
Power
Johnny
Rangers, in the original Power Rangers series, the Black Power Ranger was black.
No,
and
right,
the
yeah,
Yellow
we
Power
know
Ranger
that.
was Asian. But then they like replaced them halfway through the series, and the Black Power Ranger, his name was Adam, and he was played by Johnny Young Bosch.
Go. Go.
I could have sworn that in one of the trailers for the Power Rangers movie, it showed like all of them like in the water, and then all the colors lighting up under them, and then
Yeah.
and then the black dude has like black under him, and then he's like, "Oh, come on, guys, are you serious?"
No, that's in the movie. I'm
That's in the
pretty sure.
movie.
Yeah, that's in the movie.
I have not actually watched the movie in its like entirety.
I have. I think it's really. I think it's
I
fairly
like-
good. It got harsh scores, but like I was like, I don't think.
The suits look kind of funny.
Welcome back to Finalhazard.
I thought
They
it was
pulled-
pretty
they pulled-
good.
This is
they
now,
pulled a
this is
Michael
now,
Bay.
This is now the Power Chamber podcast.
Power Chamber.
Power
Power
Rangers.
Chamber.
Where we discuss
That sounds a
some,
bit-
Power Rangers
That sounds a
news
bit.
and updates, and discuss various Power Rangers topics.
Honestly,
I'm your host, HappyMatt.
I think that
There's
would
so much
be.
to talk about.
I think there would be so much more to talk about from that. I don't know shit about Power Rangers, but like the fact that this episode is gonna be centered on like a 10-year-old video game
Yeah.
that like nobody cares about anymore.
Bad.
I don't know, because it's just like the series has been. I think like ever since like that 06 era. I think that's when interest in Sonic started to really dwindle, and now it's like a household name. Like people know what it is, but like
He has
people give a
legacy.
shit.
He has legacy,
Yeah.
and like even with Mania, like Mania is a game that celebrates his legacy. Generations. The only new Sonic game, to me, and I don't think Lost World is as new as it once was.
No.
I felt it was at the time, but now I think like the first really like new Sonic game was Colors.
Right, that's what I was talking to my friend about. I was like, it's been like a whole like 9 years since we got like a truly original Sonic game, because of like everything after Colors was just Generations and Lost World and Forces, then Mania.
Rehash.
Yeah, whether or not they're good, they're all like, all of them like rely on shit that he did in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's just like taking stuff from other stuff. So it's like the last original Sonic game we got was Colors. So
I'm glad
That's-
that literally everyone forgot about Link being in Lost World.
yeah, the fucking DLC.
Oh, that was uncanny. That was like bizarre. Like when I saw like
Yeah.
a loft wing, I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" it was just wrong. And like Gorons, okay, I need to stop. So, because of that, we can all agree Sonic Unleashed is the best game ever, right? Like we can all.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
So
Yep.
that motherfucking dick.
The last
Hell
good
yeah.
Sonic game.
Okay, that is definitely not true. Let's go from like left to right, I guess again. On like what our general thoughts on it. Like, do you like it? Do you not like Unleashed? Like left to right.
All right.
I don't really like Unleashed that much. It's kind
Yeah,
of stupid. The music's good though.
that is true. Okay, maybe not that one. Actually, no, that song's good, but like,
I like it.
No,
I
I-
love jazz, so it's like, sorry, it's just. That's good.
no, you're right though. The night stages are really great. I love the music.
They're really pretty too.
All right. Yeah, I might just go last because I have a lot of things to say on Unleashed, so I could probably go last.
All
Yeah,
right,
your turn, Matthew.
let's go.
Oh,
Matt.
it is.
Oh no.
Damn. Yeah. What's up? It's, Sonic Unleashed. It's shit.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no, you pissed a lot of
No.
people off with that, Matt.
No.
Yeah, I
let
don't
me
like
stop.
that.
Let me stop. I'm always trying to poke and prod. You feel me?
No, I got you. I got you.
But I don't have like I just don't like the game. It's just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
not for me.
I get that.
I played the I heard that like the HD version was better than the Wii version, Wii/PS2 version that I grew up on. So I downloaded PlayStation Now. I downloaded Sonic
Oh,
Unleashed
that was your first mistake.
a few months ago. I think back in like September or something like that. And I started playing, and I played like the first 2 levels of HD Unleashed.
They did the
And-
same thing as me and put it down.
And I stopped playing, and I just
Mhm.
stopped playing. I just don't. It's just not fun. It's just not a fun Sonic game for me.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see
Who the fuck thought it was a good idea to put the fucking homing attack on the
Yeah.
square button? Who authorized that?
We'll get
Who
to that
authorized that?
in
I
a
just wanna know.
we'll get to that in a second, but I think that the main thing for me with like Unleashed is that it's not fun. But anyway, I guess it's my turn now anyway. I want to preface this by saying I don't hate Sonic Unleashed. I don't hate Sonic fans that like Unleashed. I think that people can be very overly passionate about it to the point where they ignore criticism, but I think the episode with Evan on it, me and Matt talked about that a lot with Evan, like how that game just somehow avoids criticism, whereas like nowadays, whereas games like Colors and even games that I like Adventure 2, like they don't, they just do avoid criticism, or they don't avoid criticism when Unleashed does, in a sense. I really do think that it's not a bad game. It's just not a game that I ever really want to play. Like, it's very much in the same bracket as Forces for me. Like, I know that might sound horrible to people, but like, I don't really get what people see in it, I think. Well, no, I get it, but I don't get it to the same extent. Like, it's really pretty, and it sounds hella nice, but like, I don't know, I think every game, there's at least a game in the series that does that aspect better. Like, in terms of gameplay, I think Generations does it better. In terms of, story, I prefer a lot more simple stuff like the classics, or even Heroes. I take over Unleashed's fucking Dark Gaia bullshit. And it's just like, yeah, it's just,
Dark Gaia.
I don't know, man. There's just a lot to it, I guess, and we'll unpack that later. But Mono said that he wanted to go last, so Martin, what do you think about Unleashed?
All right. So following that up, I like Unleashed.
Oh,
Like,
no.
Here's the thing, right? When I was first playing that game when it first came out, because I had like an Xbox 360, my brother got it for me for Christmas,
Mhm.
and I like hadn't played a Sonic game in fucking years at that point, and I was like, oh, okay, and I hated it. I hated it so much. I never finished it. And then like maybe a year ago or so, because in 2017 I got back into Sonic. And then I was like going through every time I would go to like a used game store, I'd be like, oh, Sonic games, I want to play a bunch of Sonic games. And last year I got Unleashed for the PS3, and I was playing through it, and I was like, I don't know why I hated this so much as a kid, because now I kind of like it. And I'll say that like the controls are pretty janky. Like, I have a hard time playing through some of the levels and knowing what the hell I'm doing when I am, just because like it is not super well thought out when it comes to the controls and stuff. But at the same time, I enjoy playing it, and I played through the whole thing in like a week, and I had a good time with it.
Mhm.
And like I said, it's not a great game, but I'm willing to forgive a lot for a game being fun for me. And that's what it was. It was a game that I enjoyed playing, that I had fun with,
Yeah.
even if it isn't like absolutely amazing in a lot of technical aspects.
I can definitely understand that, because it's like, I don't know, like see, I say this with Pokemon a lot, but my favorite Pokemon game is still, and probably will be for quite a while, Pokemon Platinum. But I think that there are way better games in the series than
Oh
Platinum.
yeah, I agree with that. I like Platinum a lot too.
It's just
my
like
favorite.
nostalgia, you know.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it might be nostalgia. Like, I have a little bit of nostalgia for Platinum. I think, to compare it to Sonic, I think Heroes is in that bracket for me. Like, Martin, whereas you have, like, Unleashed, I know that Heroes has flaws up the ass, but, like... And it's the same with Lost World. But they're games that it's like, hey, you know, I enjoy them. And by the way, like, as much as I think me or Matt or a lot of people tend to, like, clown on Unleashed... or any Sonic game, you know, I think we'll always stress, like, whatever you like or whatever anyone else likes, like, that's fine, but I think it's okay to not agree. And I think Sonic, the community doesn't tend to, not to get up on my soapbox about the community for, like, the 10th episode in a row, but I do think that the community takes things a little bit too seriously, but, like, selectively at times, like, you know, joke tweets are fine, I think, but then there's, like, backpedaling involved, and then people are like, actually, you know, I meant that seriously, or I didn't mean that seriously, and it's a whole... at the end of the day, all I ask is, like, people, like, use their brain and use common sense when, like, talking about this kind of thing. Because, you know, discussions like this are needed, I think, when talking about any kind of media. But when it comes to, like, I don't know, Sonic, like, you can joke at it a little, you can poke at people, and I think it should be fine. So, yeah, Mono...
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, especially when it comes to, like, 3D Sonic games, I think it should I think it should be okay to just, like, you know, you can say stuff like, oh boy, fucking Sonic the Werehog sure does have long-ass arms, or some, you know, some asinine, jokey thing, and for people not to be, like, it shouldn't be that big of a deal to joke on that.
Why would you say that about the werehog? How could you?
How could
What's your favorite Sonic game? SA2.
Yeah, again, the worst is when it's like, oh, you know, like, I disagree with what you say on a Sonic game, and then you're like, oh, well, what's your favorite game? You know, like, attacking it, like that. I think that's the level where it's like gets to like attacky, and, like, you know, I think jokes. I don't know. I think this community needs to lighten up a little bit. I think I've said this before, but not to the point where, like, we don't take anything seriously, and, like, you can get away with saying, oh, you know, you don't like this because you suck at it or shit like that. It's like,
Did somebody like, and like, oh, if you enjoyed this thing, you're comparable to pedophilia.
Oh yeah, when when the movie, like, got announced, or when, like, Green Hill and the movie got announced, it was literally a case of, like, because I remember some guy, like, commented underneath my tweet, and it was like, oh, hey, you know, like, people who like this, like, they're comparable to this and that, and it's like, shut up. Like, why would you say that? That shit's fucking crazy. Like, again, I think, though, people are allowed to joke. I think, like, it's a really important discussion to be had, like, the seriousness of certain things, because it's like, you know, I think you can also poke jokes at people that either like or dislike something, but I also don't think it's fair for, like, I don't know, there's definitely, like, certain boundaries that need to be set. I think this goes for any community, but Sonic tends to be just ultra polarizing in that regard. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I think, in general, there's definitely, like, a case, because it's a case-by-case basis, right? Like, one tweet or post on a forum or in a Discord or whatever, like, that can mean a lot. And I think text is also a big thing. Like, I can guarantee you, if there's somebody in this community that, say, I didn't like, and I was to talk to them about opinions over a Sonic game, and say either they would get angry, or even if I was to get angry, like, I think that having that conversation, like, face to face is just totally different as well. I think, like, conveying stuff over the internet through text or even through voice, like, it's very different. People act very differently in real life to how they do on the internet, and I think that, because, you know, some people, This is just like a general sense, but some people tend to like big it up and be like, "Oh no, I act completely the same." It's like,
Right.
yeah, and it's like,
Yeah, man. Yeah, I totally like make fucking 9/11 jokes.
yeah, no,
IRL,
people
all the
like
time.
people do that, and they also do like the reverse as well. They're also like,
Yeah.
I would never do that in real life, and it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Right.
But
Why
anyway,
you doing it right now, boss?
facts. But like, Mono, what did you want to say about Unleashed? Because you said that you had a lot to say in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, because Unleashed is like a really polarizing title for me. Because when I was a kid, I used to play Unleashed. Well, not kid, but when I was younger, middle school age-ish, I used to play Unleashed and Generations a lot. I played Unleashed more than I did Generations, and that was like I think my most played title on my Xbox. I think I had like over 1,000 hours in that
Mm-hmm.
game. So I spent a lot of time playing it, and I used to love it when I was a kid. Um, I thought for me it was easily like my favorite game, and I thought it was the best Sonic game. But I hadn't played it for like a while after that, because I lost the original disc for it. Like I let someone borrow it, and then they just like never gave it back. So I hadn't played it for like a couple of years. I hadn't played it for like a couple of years, and then I just recently went back to play it, like I think a month ago. Um, and a lot of my opinions on it changed. I think the biggest thing with Unleashed that I don't like, and this is just a greater thing with Sonic as a whole, is I don't think the boost is a very good playstyle for this series in any capacity. I think it's inherently flawed. And I don't really think that it's something Sega should move forward with going into, later like games that are coming out in the future and stuff like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the whole type of uh course feel, you know what I mean? Where it's like an obstacle course and you
Yeah.
kind of see how fast you can go through it when I was younger. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. And that was the main reason why I played it over and over and over again. But for me, the novelty of that wore off pretty quickly when I was playing through it again. I just don't really. It's fun, but to me, it's like mindless fun. I don't really think that you need to be exerting a lot of, you know, you need to be exerting anything in order for you to actually play like a daytime stage and stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons why now I don't think it's the best Sonic game, and I really don't think it's like I'm having a hard time, you know, thinking that it's like even a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm.
I like the nighttime stages a lot, but the only problem is that they overstay their welcome and they're way too long. Like I shouldn't be playing through a stage for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's kind of extreme. But like everything else in Unleashed, I think is the best the series has ever been. Unleashed Hub World, they're like hub worlds and stuff in that game really good. And as a whole, I think it's a great way for them to do a whole bunch of world building stuff, fleshing out like the side characters and stuff like that. And just in general, I thought that everything that had to do with the hub worlds in that game was really well done. And that's one of the reasons why I do like advocating for hub worlds in Sonic games. I thought the rings were like pretty cleverly used, and just in general, everything about them I thought was really well done. They were in decent size. There were a lot of like people and memorable characters in them and stuff like that. And as a whole, I feel like Unleashed just it feels like a really complete experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably the most complete we've gotten from a modern Sonic game in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
That I do stand by. I do like the soundtrack. I like a lot of things about Unleashed, but the gameplay for me is just something that I feel like could definitely use some work. Like, Matt brought this up earlier, but the controller, like the control scheme, it's not very well thought out. And as a whole, it's really crazy for me to think that this was something that they thought was a good idea. And I think as a whole, like if Unleashed just wasn't running on like the boost formula, And if the Werehog was omitted entirely, it probably would still be one of my favorite games. But just as a whole, I feel like those two play styles are so jumbled and um, unpolished. I don't know if that's no. I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
right.
No,
the
I
right word
think
to use, but
I think unpolished
Yeah.
is the right word. I think when it comes to like you and Martin, especially like, and I think a lot of people that either did like Unleashed a lot or do like Unleashed a lot, it's like you guys can not ignore the flaws, but you can look past them, right?
yeah,
Like that's
Yeah.
that's the thing. But like,
I think that's something that like every fan of a game can do.
yeah,
Like it, like I can look past the flaws in like the adventure games because I love those games. I grew up playing those games. I didn't grow up
Right.
like I didn't grow up with like fucking whatever the last gen of consoles was. I
yeah,
didn't grow up
Xbox
with, like
360 and stuff.
I didn't grow up with a 360 or a PS3. Like I just got a PS4 like this year,
hmm
like last year. So like I didn't get to like experience everything. But like hey, that should be hit.
yeah. No, like it's one of those weird circumstances where I don't know, like for me there's a boundary, and I think that if we're to look at Sonic, Adventure 2 is the boundary for me, where it's a case of I like this game enough to the point where I can look past its flaws, but also those flaws can get real fucking problematic. And Adventure
Yeah.
2 for me is like that game. Like that is my middle of the road Sonic game because it has parts that I super enjoy and I always go back to, but it's also like I can't I don't know.
Yeah,
I
know what you mean.
can't I can't get past certain parts in that game. Unleashed for me leans a little bit too far on the side of on like past the point of no return, where it's like, oh god, I can't get past this game because I don't enjoy the Werehog too much.
It's the opposite for me, really. Like Unleashed for me is that middle of the road game where it's like I like things, but then I don't like a lot of things. And then Adventure 2, like I've tried playing that game so many times, but I can't get past City Escape. I just don't like that game at all. I've played it. I played it once when I was younger, and I thought it was all right. But I just started playing it on Steam the other day, and as soon as I started playing City Escape, I was like, I can't play this. It's just not fun to me, and it's too far on the whole not fun side for me to just like not even give that game the time of day. It's just something that I can't really get past, and I understand that's the case with Unleashed a lot. And I think the biggest reason why Unleashed turned out the way it did was obviously because of '06. I feel like Unleashed is a reactionary game. That was Sega's response to all the flack they got from '06 and everything, and I feel like that's why the game kind of ended up the way it did. I feel like as a whole, Unleashed, like if this was the case, if we did get Unleashed, if like '06 was a like success, and then after that, if we hypothetically got Unleashed again, I feel like it would have been a much stronger game.
Maybe, yeah.
But just as a whole, I feel like for me, it's really weird because I feel like Unleashed has a lot of things down. Like I feel like a lot of the things that Unleashed does with the modern series, that's how it should just be through like for every game. You know what I mean? And then there's shit like the Werehog and stuff where I'm just like, it's so unnecessary that I just like it kind of takes away from the total experience for me.
Yeah. Do you guys think like that when it comes to like opinions on games, do you think like that objectivity goes out of the window and it's more so when I guess it comes to 3D Sonic games, but objectivity kind of goes out the window when you talk about a game or any 3D Sonic game because they're all very polarizing, honestly. And it's like
Yeah.
it's more so tolerance because like I think
Yeah.
'06 is bad. I think it's really bad, like on more of an objective level. But I can tolerate it to the point where I can play it. You know what I mean? Like, what do you
Yeah.
guys think of that?
I would say so, because for me, for a lot of people, a lot of their opinions aren't objective. So for you to, like, because we all have biases, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I can still deal with Unleashed because I played it as a kid. So, that's the only reason why. And if I hadn't played it as a kid, I probably wouldn't like it, but I feel like I still need to acknowledge that bias I have. Same thing with '06. I think I agree with you. I've expressed multiple times to like one of my other friends who he really likes '06. He thinks it's a good game, but I've expressed it multiple times that I think '06 is like inherently a really bad game. But I still can look past. I can still look past that because everything else that '06 does, it makes me happy enough to the point where I can tolerate it having poorly designed characters and kind of iffy controls and optimization problems and stuff like that. I just think that when you're discussing your opinions on shit like this, you don't need to be objective because none of us are being like the things we like. It's not a matter of us liking it because it does A, B, and C. It's more so what it means to us, which is why we end up liking it. So personally, I don't like when people try and talk objectivity and like these types of discussions and stuff. Usually when they do that too, it's not for the sake of being objective, it's more so to prove that they're right and you're wrong. So
Yeah.
See, like, meanwhile, like I said, I hadn't played a Sonic game for years before I played Unleashed, and I didn't like Unleashed as a kid, but I like it now. And meanwhile, '06, I didn't play, like, at all until maybe 2 years ago, and I couldn't stand it, and I really didn't like it, and I couldn't play it. But I know a lot of people that do like it because they did play it when it, like, first came out, and they were, like, I don't know, 10 or 8 or something. And they're like, oh, I love Sonic '06. Sonic '06 is a good game. Don't talk bad about Sonic '06. And it's like, I mean, as someone who never played it growing up and played it as an adult, I think that it's hot garbage. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Sonic '06 purifiers are creepy.
It's a little weird, but I kind of get it.
I don't understand it. Like,
I get that. Okay, so like I said, I'm friends with a lot of people that do like Sonic '06. And I feel like most of them like it because they like the idea of Sonic games having a really complex, in-depth story. They like the idea of playing as, like, multiple different characters, and they like Silver. That seems to be the thing.
okay, the third one is just stupid. Fuck Silver.
Alright, listen.
But, like,
Yeah, but
Sonic
I
06
mean-
is the final thing.
I mean, just play Sonic Rivals or something, you know?
Listen.
I like that
alright.
well, see, the thing that you just
Time.
said though is like they like the idea of those things.
Yeah, and
Right.
that seems to be the thing, is people who like Sonic '06 that played it as kids like the ideas behind
No.
Sonic '06, and they want, like, a remake or something, but
Yeah.
they're willing to be like, I love Sonic '06, it's my favorite Sonic game.
If you like those ideas, go play SA2 or
Yeah,
SA2. Oh my god, no! Please,
Yes.
don't. As a person, like what Martin just said is totally correct. I like '06 so much because of the concept of it. You know what I mean? But like comparing '06 to SA2, I don't think they're similar in any right. And as a whole, I just don't think SA2 is done. Like for me, I would pick '06 over SA2 any day.
Oh,
I just
Nah.
I like the way that '06 does
Oh.
compared to SA2.
My goodness.
SA2
Oh.
is
episode canceled. Episode canceled. It's
just
over.
painfully bad. Like I think that game
Bonus
is really
kicked.
bad. I don't like it.
Okay. I
And
got a
see, I
question.
did play Sonic Adventure 2 as a kid, and it's like my favorite Sonic game, so...
Nah, I hate SA2.
I got a question for you guys.
hey, what's up?
Okay.
Do you like Dark Sonic? Like, as in, like, Sonic having dark stories
fucking-
and, like,
Oh.
Sonic dying?
No,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
stupid. It's stupid. I hate it.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
It's
I
one
think
at a
there's-
time.
Oh, okay. I think there are lines that you shouldn't cross with Sonic. You know what I mean? Like
Sonic
the whole
dies.
kissing Sonic death thing is kind of a little bit. I don't think it has a place in any Sonic game. For me, I don't really mind what type of tone the story takes, just so long as it's like well written. I'm fine with a game that's like more lighthearted, like Heroes and stuff. Because Heroes like is another Sonic game I really like. But then if a Sonic story wants to be intricate and, kind of a little bit darker in tone, I think they could do that too. I think it's a series that works doing either or, just so long as you know when there's a threshold established, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, okay.
when you're going past the limit.
You know
Because
Okay, Matt, Martin, you guys.
You know what? Mephiles was the true hero of Sonic 06 because Sonic should have stayed dead after he got stabbed.
I like Mephiles' design. I'm sad he was never used again.
yeah.
I just fucking, oh my god, I just fucking hate Sonic so much. Fuck. Ah.
Okay, so, Matt, just say darker light stories.
I don't care.
Yeah, no,
Alright, that's fair.
no, but I do think that that's like
Stand that up.
okay. You you can't say that. Out of the only
know, I
two white
can't.
people
Wait,
in
wait,
this
what did-
entire
what
I
did
group.
say?
can't. That's the
What did
problem,
Martin
right?
say?
I can't say it.
I'm a
Martin, what'd you
boss
say?
bidder.
No,
Listen,
I can't.
I hate Drake. Anyway,
No, real quick. On like Dark Sonic stories. So like back when I was a tween, like a 13-year-old on fanfiction.net.
oh
Here's the
no.
thing, right? Is like, I think that when it comes to dark stories in Sonic games, there are certain things that you should not do.
Yeah, that's a
Because
boundary.
Oh,
they're
no.
they're anthropomorphic cartoon animals. It is weird to see them
Right, yeah.
dying and like getting kissed by humans to bring them back to life, and hearing Shadow say "damn," and
Oh, I like
watching
Shadow
Maria
say
die.
See, I
Nah,
think
to
I
be-
think it's okay for characters in this series to die. Okay, what I
Yeah.
don't think is okay is you don't show fucking a little girl getting shot. You don't show your main character getting stabbed through the chest and then falling over. I think it's
Yeah.
okay for characters to like say
Right.
if I can't even think of an example because they've never like
Well,
done it
I have an
properly.
example.
So I got some thoughts on like dying characters in games that are supposed to be like for kids, because I play Kingdom Hearts.
Oh
Good
no,
job.
Boy.
we're not
Here's
doing
the
this.
thing, right?
Oh
No,
Kingdom
no,
boy.
no,
Hearts.
I'm not gonna get real. I'm not gonna get. I swear. But the thing is, like, there are ways to have dramatic character deaths while not, showing the character getting shot in the back.
Yes.
Right. Listen,
Or like actually dying.
Goofy
Or,
getting
like,
hit with a
actually
fucking
dying.
Homie's
rock.
just in a
Just
coma,
have
you
them
feel
like
me?
dust, just
Fade
turn
away,
into sparkles,
sparkles.
fade away.
Literally every character in Smash Ultimate died, and I didn't feel a thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like
look,
it's
the thing
fine.
with-
It's fine like
Sonic
that.
reaches out to Pikachu in his last moment.
The thing with me is
Sonic is the one that really
uh,
needs saving. Let's be honest.
What's it called? I have this one friend who's really like, I'm not the biggest fan of his interpretation on Sonic, because like a lot of people, especially in this climate, a lot of people think that this dark stories are just something the series should stray away from, which is obviously something I don't agree with. Like SA2 story is pretty dark, but I'd argue that's the best story we've gotten in any Sonic game. You know what I
Ooh.
mean? But like, for me, I feel like obviously there's that threshold and stuff. I think a prime examples of he was doing this like weird alternate universe type thing, and he was talking to one of my other friends about it, and they were like agreeing with one another, but it was the worst thing I had ever heard. He was all like, he was
Okay, so
like,
basically,
he was
they all
like,
had an-
yeah, it would be like sort of like, like he was, the part of the AU they were talking about was like sort of retold type of forces thing, and he was talking about how like Knuckles would die and he'd stay dead and shit. I was like, what are you talking about? This is like the worst thing.
Oh.
This is the
Knuckles
worst
died,
thing
I'd cry.
I've ever heard of. It's because once again, you got to keep in mind that even if you want to be serious with the thing, this is a universe about like cartoon characters, and it's like, as dark as you want to get, you do have to realize that doing something like that would be the same thing as like having Mickey Mouse and Donald being like an army force, and then have like Donald just die in one episode and just stay
Saving
dead.
Private Mickey.
And it's just like,
Donald Duck
yeah.
does have PTSD.
it'd be really fucking weird to just do something like that. So you gotta know when and when you can't do something. A lot of people do think that like especially like after Mania adventures and shit, the way classic Sonic does stuff is that's the best way to do it, and they want like more lighthearted stories like that. But personally, I feel like they can do any story just so long as they know what their limits are, and then they get writers who can actually write. So,
And the thing is that Sonic is not Star Fox.
yeah,
It's not like a serious where mercenaries fighting
Fox's dad
terrorists.
dying.
and
Right,
Fox's
yeah.
dad is dead and blah blah blah.
Fox-
I never
It's
actually thought of
depression
comparing
after
this
the
series.
season.
Well,
yeah,
that's
that's a
the thing,
good.
is right.
That's a
Yeah.
good comparison.
Cause see, okay, my friend was playing Star Fox Zero, and that's what popped into my head was I was about how weird it is for Shadow the Hedgehog to be an E10 plus rated game, and Star Fox isn't. And it's like that seems like a series where it would be okay to have stuff like characters saying very mild curse words or
Yeah.
having people
that's what it was
die or get
established
shot or explode.
Let
because
Falco say fuck.
Let Falco say fuck. Let him do it.
I would
He's
love
allowed
for-
to.
He already said
Slippy,
cock.
you fucking moron. That'd just be
Hands
so
off
good.
my cock!
Hands off
Yeah,
my
yeah,
cock.
yeah.
No, but like
See,
the difference there is though is that the characters don't like get stabbed on screen. You know, like the
Yeah.
characters, the characters die, but like you know, like you see them blow up, you see them fade away from your team or something like that. But like
even at that
they
level,
don't
though,
die.
seeing a Sonic character- Yeah, but even at that level, seeing a Sonic character get blown up in the distance would be weird. It would be
Yeah.
surreal and uncomfortable.
Yeah, I
Seeing
think that's
the-
just.
Yeah,
Sonic-
that is true actually. That yeah.
You know what else is fucking
Well, unless it was like a robot, 'cause
Sonic
didn't
character
that Gamma dude die? He was like,
that
you know
wait,
what
that
else?
happened in SA too as well though. Like Sonic dies.
Help me!
I know, but he used chaos
Shadow
control.
burns up in the fucking atmosphere.
But we
Oh.
know that he used chaos control
Chaos
and was
control.
fine.
I
yeah.
But
guess.
then also,
yeah.
you know what? Fucking seeing Sonic characters get put into chambers that like suck their brains. Oh fuck!
I think the problem
Egg
is
grapes.
that you have to
Fucking
find
egg
a
grapes,
nice.
dude.
You need to
Charming
find a
and
nice middle ground, because when I'm thinking of Sonic, the two extremes would probably be Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Lost World in terms of storytelling. You got a really dark story, and then you got a really lighthearted juvenile story, and a lot of people don't like either because they're like extremes. You know what I mean? I feel like as a whole, it's fine for you to have death in a Sonic game. It's fine for you to have, you know, maybe not swearing. I don't really care, but like once again, it is Sonic. I think it's fine for you to be more lighthearted, but once again, you got to realize that the series has always kind of been a mix of like, you know, kind of lightheartedness while also being kind of like, I guess, mature with its tones. So
Yeah.
I feel like as a whole, you know,
And that's
it's
sort
fine
of
to do either
why-
or, but like to go from Sonic Heroes and then to go to Shadow the Hedgehog, which was
That's
such a
that's
dramatic
literally a
tone
year's
shift.
difference.
Yeah, that's so insane to me. That like as a whole, I was when Shadow came out, I was like, oh, not when it came out, but when I saw Shadow after playing Heroes, I was just like, oh Jesus, this is the same series.
And I have seen both complaints on like each side of this sort of one side wanting to be lighthearted, one side wanting to be dramatic when it comes to complaining about the story for Forces. Because I've seen people complain about how, oh, this story is really weird and complex, and Infinite's kind of a strange, lackluster villain who screams a lot for some reason. But I've also seen people be like, oh, I wish they did more with Infinite, made him angrier and scarier, and had Sonic be messed up by the torture that happens to him and weird stuff
See,
like that.
I think. Oh, I hate that. By the way, like we
Sonic
don't need
Sonic
that.
fans want to beat me to Sonic torture porn.
That's
They
fact.
really do.
That's fact.
They really do.
But like, see, one series like you made the comparison to Star Fox before, and how like,
Mhm.
see, I think the thing is as well is that the characters in Sonic, like Charmy B is like a 7-year-old kid. You know, like I'm not saying I wouldn't mind seeing him getting stabbed or blown up in the distance, but I think that that's not appropriate. However, I think Ratchet and Clank is the perfect comparison because Ratchet and Clank, I can't.
Here he goes again.
Fuck you.
Hold on a sec.
Back
Alright.
on this.
But listen. Every single episode, I swear. But like, those games are fine story wise. They're very similar, but I think. Okay, I hate modern day adult humor in video games. It is It's so like modern humor is not. Not all modern humor is crude. Okay, Ratchet and Clank has crude humor, but it's not like thick. It's not like laid on. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like,
What just happened?
wait, what the fuck? You just like typed like, okay,
What just
Never mind.
Mono just typed like
369452.
Mono just typed like his social security number into the Finalhazard chat. I don't know what's going on.
I put like my glass of water down, and I guess it hit my keyboard, and then like 5 words just like got typed up in like
369-453. Explain. Never mind,
Crazy.
dumbass. No. What the
Explain.
hell?
Oh man, SA2 is so bad to me that I want to consider it a sequel to a good game called SA1. Long live Gamma. Fuck off. Fuck off.
I'm gonna put what you just typed in the chat on stream.
That was so insane. Like I saw it. And
Like
then
what the fuck?
it was
Explain.
legitimately like 2 seconds, and I was like, "What just happened?"
Explain, never mind, dumbass, no.
I'm so like confused. What's happening?
Guys,
I
I was gonna ask earlier. What's your opinion on Mephiles? Should they bring him back, or do you just
No.
Who was that directed at?
It's too late.
all of you?
Yeah,
guys?
I don't want to see anything old. Please, new. Thanks.
For who? Wait,
No,
sorry.
you know what? You know
Ask the
what? I want
question again.
Mephiles
I
back
didn't-
so he can shoot Sonic again.
Oh,
Make
Make sure he
Mephiles.
stays dead. Fuck.
He's gonna he pulls out the strap.
I mean, we have Infinite. Infinite is pretty
But
much
Infinite
fucking Mephiles.
sucks, and he's not as good as Mephiles.
See-
Mephiles, I think, sucks too.
I just realized that we haven't been talking about Sonic Unleashed for like the last 20 minutes.
Because it's a shitty game
Oh,
and
shit,
it's not
you're
worth
right.
talking about.
No,
I
listen.
think
See, I think this is important though. Like, what do you think that Unleashed? Because I've seen a lot of people say that Unleashed hits that happy medium between what we've just been talking about, and I don't agree at all.
I think like, cause what the fuck happens in Unleashed though? Like, I don't think
It's
I don't
it's
think-
a nothing story. It's literally they go get the
Yeah,
Dragon Balls. Like,
I don't think there's enough in Unleashed to actually warrant someone saying something like that. You know what I mean? Because like barely anything happens in that game for me to consider it like, you know, because it's so simplistic and they're not doing a lot of like character stuff. Just like go here, get this Chaos Emerald and go fight the bad.
See,
That's
like,
all it
I
is.
don't. I think people confuse like like it's a very confused game in terms of story, and I think people don't bother trying to break it down because they don't think about it. But like think about this. So you have this story about this blue hedgehog and yellow fox that have this spooky entity that is doing bad stuff. All right, now
Yeah.
that sounds good on paper. Meanwhile, there's no actual like plot in between. There's very minor interactions between the smaller villain of the game, which is Eggman, and the main characters. But the first cutscene involves this highly edited, like 5-minute long CGI complete destruction of essentially our minor villain, because that's what Eggman is. He's overthrown by Dark Guy at the end, and also in that cutscene, Sonic gets fucking shocked to death. He gets shocked so hard that the fucking Dragon Balls fall out of him and get jettisoned towards the planet, which then blows up. Like, to me, that is the most...
He burns up in the atmosphere. In base.
Yeah, no.
No, he lands. He
Base
lands
form,
perfectly safe.
base form Sonic versus base form Goku.
Who would win? But, like,
Who would win?
See-
That's equalized.
see, to me, that is just like... That's just like a really confused story. But nobody thinks about that. They think, haha, lighthearted adventure. Sonic, he gets more brutally fucked on screen than he has in any other game except for the Shadow intro where he gets shot in the back and the 06 ending where he gets shot in the back.
Yeah.
Like, what? Those 3 games were, like, in a row as well.
Honestly, like I wouldn't agree with that. I don't think Unleashed hits that mark. Like, once again, I don't know if you guys would agree with me, but I kind of think the game that has been the closest to doing that would Wait, actually, I don't know if I agree with myself.
Well, what
I don't
were
know
you
if
gonna
I agree
say?
with myself.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say SA2, but SA2 is kind of. I
SA
don't know if it's as balanced.
SA2 has cheesy melodrama, and I think that it works for a Dreamcast game, but when you put that cheesy melodrama in a game like Sonic 06, I don't think it works because you're trying to do too much with too little. You're trying to do too much with this stupid ass
Sonic
melodrama.
Riders would probably be the closest to that.
Thank you.
I remember Sonic Riders had a pretty well done story. They were like lighthearted moments, but when it needed to take itself seriously, it took itself seriously. But it wasn't like, it didn't seem too crazy. You know what I mean? Like the game could do both lighthearted and seriousness. And when it needed to be serious, it got serious. When it needed to be more, cheerful and stuff, it was cheerful. And I think that the characters were all represented pretty well in that game. It was probably like, I'd say Riders would probably be the best done.
And the thing with Riders that I think it does really well in terms of that is that a lot of times when people say they want a story in a Sonic game, what they actually want is character interaction.
They want better
Sonic
writers.
characters.
It's the same
want
as Smash
characters talking
Brothers.
to each other.
It's the same as Smash Brothers. Nobody wanted a story in Smash Brothers. People just wanted to see Snake fucking talk to Kirby. Like
Yeah,
no.
that's the thing with Sonic. People don't want like a plot. They want people talk. They want Sonic talking to insert other Sonic character here, and they want a lot of it. And that's kind of what Riders does. Is it's just like it doesn't have much of a plot. The plot is let's go race on our hoverboards.
Yeah,
But
because
it has a lot
Let's
of
go
characters-
race on our hoverboard.
It's
It has a
literally
lot of
it. Yeah.
characters talking to each other. It has,
Yeah.
it has Knuckles and Storm bumping into each other and then threatening each other, and then being
Well,
let's settle this
wait,
on the
wait,
track.
hold on, Paul. You said Paul in the chat said Paul he was like, I wanted a plot in Smash. I'm not saying Smash or Sonic doesn't need a plot, but what I'm saying is you can't just give it a plot and then call it a day because that's not what people want. If for
Right.
Smash, people loved Subspace not because they liked the idea that Wario shot a princess with a gun, and then Taboo, who is this big blue man in the sky, tried to kill everyone. Like nobody, of course, yeah, that's the plot. But in that plot, people like the interaction where fucking Game & Watch picks up Peach's umbrella and starts dancing around with it, or when Sheik has tea with Peach and Fox on top
Yeah, I
of
was
the
just about
halberd.
to say.
Like,
And then
Yeah,
Fox
they
is
liked
just looking
it
as
when-
confused.
yeah.
They liked it when Zelda and Peach got locked in a vault together, and then Sheik opens it up and Peach walks out like, ha.
Yeah, no.
They
it-
just want to see characters
Snake
interacting
is like,
with each
be
other.
careful. like,
Yeah, and I think not to get into Smash because I've talked about this on so many like live streams and just in talks in general, but the problem is where you have this because for Ultimate they were like, you guys want a story? Here's a story and nothing else. They gave you a story and then that was it. For as shitty as Brawl Subspace was, playing through it, from my experience, slow ass piece of shit. I love the character interactions. Everybody's favorite fucking part of that is when Sonic comes in at the end. He doesn't say, Brawl was so good in that because there was like 3 words and they were all from Snake.
Yeah.
You know, like that. I'm trying to like
Don't forget Falcon
imagine.
Punch.
Oh, the Falcon Punch on the giant Rob was great, and then he just kills all the Pikmin.
Yeah, he kills all the Pikmin.
But
The
like,
most we got in terms of character interaction in Ultimate is the very opening like World of Light cutscene with characters saying like 3 words each, and not to
Show
each
your
other, just
fear.
like in general. Shulk doesn't even say anything. He gets a vision, then turns around.
yeah,
Like
no.
nobody
think-
interacts with anyone.
I
And
think
that's-
like
A lot in Smash.
I think
you see that a lot with the series because whenever the comics do anything, you know what I mean? Like it's always a character interaction moment, and then they're like, "I
Yeah.
wish there was more of this in the game."
everybody
you know, like-
loves that when
Yeah.
fucking Sonic pins Shadow up against a tree and there's definitely some homosexual energy going on. Everybody tweets about it. Whenever Tangle
Right.
freaks out in the comics, I don't care about the comics, but I love seeing that shit. That shit's
Yeah.
either funny
I think
or like you remember that
Yeah.
what was it like the second issue where like Amy and Sonic just had like so many back and forths.
Mhm.
yeah,
Like
'cause
nobody
it's like
Like, not to discredit like the artists, but nobody cared about the visuals. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, obviously.
That shit was pretty though.
Yeah, no, of course they look great, but the thing is like that paired with the interactions is great, and I think that's why we get so like you don't see if you like complain about voice acting or anything like the interactions. I think it's a really good point. Like the interactions really matter, and to me that's why I love Generations story. People get on my ass for me when I say the Generations has a great story. I say that because I like hearing Knuckles call Classic Sonic fat. Okay, I don't
Like,
I don't actually care about. It's like Subspace. I don't care about the time. I care about the Time Eater as much as I do fucking Taboo. I don't care about the reasons why all this is happening. I care about the fact that this character talks to this character in this way, or Classic Sonic and Modern Sonic even interacting is cool to me, or at least it was cool when it was a novel idea. And I think that's where a bit of my disappointment with Force's story comes from, because it has this whole big setup where with this fandom Ruby and blah blah blah, and it's just like
Nobody talks to each other.
yeah, like you're in a room full of people. Like see the stupidest thing in Forces to me plot wise was when Omega came in like and like shot some bullets and he didn't say a damn word. And then everyone, yeah.
You don't need to hear Vic Mignogna.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's true. Actually, fuck Vic Mignogna.
I think
we
like
don't talk about
Vic
Vic McLasagna.
Vic
I think
McGregor.
I think that reminds me a lot of when Lost World came out. I saw a surprising amount of people saying it was the best Sonic story, because I think it was the first one to have, in a while, to have like some considerable character interaction. You know what I mean?
And
like
that's
just the way
why
Sonic would bounce off of the Deadly Six. A lot of people like that, and I think the biggest reason with Sonic with that is just that in general, the writers that we have, not to sound like pretentious or anything, but I believe that the writers that are working on the games now have such a like basic understanding of the characters and just humor in general. That because weren't these the dudes who were working on fucking Happy Tree Friends? Like, what did they learn from that?
Well, no,
I
the
think
thing
the
is, though,
biggest-
is like, sorry to cut you off, but like a show like that is very much interaction based in and of itself, and I think that when you bring, because okay, here's the perfect comparison. Look at, why is my fucking roommate playing the guitar? Why? But like, if you look at, if you can hear, I'm sorry, but when you look at this is actually distracting me now. But like when you look at Mania Adventures, I think it's the best comparison, because that is a show where nobody talks. It is all entirely physical character interaction shown by like animation, right? And I genuinely think that like if they somehow manage to nail that with the, because here's the thing, right? The people that write Mania Adventures, they're Sonic fans, and I think that they're like, usually I wouldn't complain about this. But like the fact that the people who currently write the modern games, or they currently translate the modern games, I guess, and write the English story,
are not Sonic fans.
Yeah, and when you
I
have
think-
a series that I believe relies a lot on strong interactions, and it's why I like colors, and it's why I like all the cheesy shit in SA2, even though it's really bad. It's just like, that's why people like that stuff. It's why people like the comics, and I think that if you have people that
like,
don't
a
know the
bunch of fun
characters.
shit. There's a bunch of fun shit that happens like in SA2, like that kind of like goes under the radar. The scene where Knuckles comes out of the fucking like manhole,
the sewer,
Hey guys,
and then like
long time no
Amy
see.
pulling it is like trying to pull him out.
Long time no
And
see.
he's like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?"
And you see,
that shit's good.
and you see, if that didn't look like a piece of shit Dreamcast game, I would like that scene.
See,
Right.
That's the
Well,
thing.
Lewis, haven't you
Reason-
just been saying for years that Japanese Sonic is superior?
Yes, because the writing doesn't sound stilted, and the character interactions at least physically exist to complement that, I guess.
I think that's like, as much as I really don't like Flynn's type of writing, honestly, but I do have to admit the guy has a pretty he has a good understanding of
Well, if he
characters.
didn't by this point,
And
I'd
I
be
think-
very afraid.
Yeah, and I think that's the problems that the current writers have. It's not that they're bad at writing, it's just that when you have such a basic understanding of the characters, and then you go off the fucking spark notes that Sega has on each individual character, and you only use that when you're writing. Obviously, you're gonna mess it up so that you end up writing Sonic to be like either a douchebag or just an annoying idiot half the time. Because you don't understand, well, you have a basic understanding of the character, you don't understand it deep enough to the point where you acknowledge the nuances, and it's in like their writing, and then you're able to implement that into your scripts and stuff like that. I think a great example of this is Dragon Ball Super and Super Goku, because Super Goku was a big fucking idiot. And because that's the only, they had such a basic understanding of the character, that's the only thing that they were able to put into like, you know, the scripts and stuff like that. And then you go to Super Broly. Like when I was watching Broly,
Whoa, are we gonna
spoilers,
whoa,
No, I'm not gonna
Damn,
spoil
I
anything.
didn't know.
I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm just saying, when I watched Broly, I was surprised because he wasn't written like idiot Goku. He felt more like Z Goku. And that's the thing. I felt like they got a better understanding of the character and how he worked, to the point where it wasn't, I want to fight you, blah, 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 I make all these bad choices. He felt a lot more like the Goku that I was used to seeing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I will agree
and I
with
think
that.
that's the situation with Sonic. For a long time, they wrote him as a douche because that's what they thought. They had a basic understanding of him, and that's what they thought he was. And then after a while, I feel like they're gonna get to the point where they do understand that, because just in general, the American production crew, just they haven't been as consistent as the Japanese crew, which is one of the reasons why I feel like I would agree with you. Japanese Sonic is a lot better because they've had that consistency to the point where they can grow and further understand the series and what works and what doesn't work, and they can build off of that. And then, you know, when you compare the scripts of like Forces, the English version of the Japanese version, or just any Sonic game to come out in recent years, you could clearly tell that more often than not, the Japanese script is going to be a lot more likable and a lot more just like bearable than the American script.
Yeah.
Because they actually understand the character.
Wait, hold on. Go, Martin, go.
No, I was just gonna say, like, to sort of build off of that, the voice actor for Sonic in Japanese is the same for so long. Such
Yeah.
a long time. He's been the same voice actor, he's never changed. Meanwhile, the voice actor for American Sonic changes every couple of years. And I feel like ever since Roger, I don't want to say anything bad about Roger Craig Smith as a voice actor, he's fine. But
I don't think
ever
he
since
fits
Roger,
Sonic.
I just think
Ever
he's been
since
unfortunately like written.
ever
Yeah, of
since
course.
Roger
I love
became
Jason
Sonic, he's been a dumb jock. And nobody wants to watch a dumb furry jock, you know, ramble on and crack wise for however many hours there's cutscenes.
I think
Roger
Roger-
Craig Smith does have a dumb jock voice, though.
he got
I mean-
the short end of the stick though, because
Roger doesn't have good direction.
yeah.
So he can't like get that good, like he can't get that good sell.
Yeah, he was
basically.
unlucky enough to be casted during like probably the worst period of writing in Sonic games.
And
So it's like,
well,
Yeah,
lot of
like he
people-
got casted. He got casted as they changed the writers.
Yeah, a lot of
So-
people blame him for their bad writing, when
But
in
it's
all
not Roger's
actuality,
fault.
He got baldy nose hair.
yeah, that's like that. That's not him. When you give him terrible material, there's only so much he can do with it.
But then we also have like a bunch of other his predecessors who, in my opinion, didn't have good direction either. There's never been good voice directing in a Sonic game.
In the English dub of a Sonic game.
In
I
the
think they
English
had
dub of
better
Sonic
material though.
I think
definitely would say
that
they had
Black
better
Knight.
material.
I think that Black Knight, in my opinion, was a step in the right direction. But Jason
I
Griffith
forgot
was always
about
like,
Black Knight.
I'm gonna fucking suck your dick, yeah. So like, it's not gonna. So you're not gonna get that good direction. And Ryan
Yeah.
Drummond, but then Ryan Drummond is like in a fucking, is like, wherever the fuck he is. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
wish
like-
God knows.
for a million handkerchiefs. So
Oh my
cry
god.
all you want.
I
Yeah.
think
But the thing with Jason is he got a lot of practice voicing Sonic when
To
he
be
was in
fair,
Sonic.
though,
Yeah,
when
he had
Jason,
Sonic X and all.
He also
of the-
voiced like 3 different characters.
Yeah. When
Yeah,
Jason
he was
was
Shadow.
casted, when Jason was casted for Sonic, though, and I think he was the only Sonic to have this be the scenario. But the character,
Yeah,
the
he didn't
character's
even-
personality, yeah, the character's personality shifted significantly when
Mhm.
Jason was Sonic. They changed Sonic to fit his voice, so he was a lot more like lax and like laid back and stuff, as opposed to when you had Drummond when he was full of energy and a lot more spunky. And I think the reason why Boom Sonic works so much is because he's written to fit Roger's voice. You know what I mean? So it's like you have a character who's kind of obnoxious, kind of rude, and kind of egotistical, and you have
And-
the voice to match.
There's the problem, because Japanese Sonic with the Japanese voices sounded good. Well, Japanese Sonic, written by Japanese writers with the Japanese voice, has always been good. And the one time that we had an English Sonic, voiced by an English Sonic, written by English people, which was Boom, it sounded good. So I think
Right.
here is a very valid disconnect. And I think have you heard the horror stories of SA1 and 2?
Yes. Oh
The
my
voice-
Oh my
god.
god.
Yes.
Well, wasn't
Holy
it that
shit.
like they had literally no direction or something?
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, 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 no. What
From the,
happened was
No. They were like being like
the Japanese
under
game
like a
development.
microscope by the Japanese team.
The Japanese game
Japanese-
development team, Yuji Naka, was apparently very, like, specific. Like, he wanted them... Like, there was some shit about drowning noise. I feel like I have it saved. Hold on. You guys talk about, like, stuff while I find this.
All I remember was that the recording process and just all that stuff was very taxing on the people working on it over here, just because they had such a specific vision and they weren't really allowed to deviate from that. I remember the voice of Rouge. She had a real bad relationship with Sega, and
Yeah,
all
she was the voice
Yeah, she
director.
was the voice, she was
Yeah.
the voice
Manny
director.
Manila.
yeah, she really fucking like was
So
she
much
didn't
shit.
did she come back for Heroes? Didn't Rouge get a new voice actor?
No,
actress
no,
for
she's
Heroes?
Lonnie Manila is the cast is consistent through the Dreamcast games to up
Right.
to Sonic Advance 3.
Okay.
And Shadow the Hedgehog is the first like change of cast for the entire like Sonic cast.
I don't have it
but-
anymore, but yeah.
But basically,
Sega
definitely-
has always
like
Oh,
SA2, like also the script translations were shit. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Because the scripts were Japanese, then they were translated to English by the Japanese team.
Hence
And
why
then,
there's
like-
so many weird little ticks that are left in, like Eggman saying and Sonic going
Yosh
"Titty-ah"
and-
when he runs at shit.
Tadya!
Titty-ah!
Yeah, there's just a lot of fucks.
See,
fuck
I
ups
think that's
and-
why, like, reining it back into Unleashed again, it's like, I do think that's why people like Griffith in this game, because he felt it. I don't want to say it was him at his peak, like the character at its peak, but I think there was a real. There wasn't as much of a disconnect as there was before between. Maybe that's a question to ask Griffith himself, because I guess he's the best person to ask about it.
If anyone wants
Let's
to get Jason
get him
Griffith on
the
this show,
podcast.
But,
Yeah, let's
like,
get him on the podcast.
That'd be fun. He's probably
That would
the
be
only
fun.
Sonic VA I would like on this podcast, because.
I'd kiss him. I'd
Yeah.
kiss him.
Okay, that's suddenly not happening. Suddenly not happening anymore.
Damn.
But-
Damn.
but,
All right.
like-
Jason Griffith has a restraining order.
Yeah, but like, I think that like Unleashed was probably like Unleashed Black Knight was like probably the time where there was the least disconnect between like the English writers, the Japanese writers, and the English voice cast, and everything that comes in between that. But then when it comes to colors, when they changed that little piece, which was the English translation team and the English writers, that
Yeah,
is
not bode
that's
well.
where the
Because-
disconnect came again. And then Roger, who had just joined the role, like, I think it's a writing problem, and I think that Unleashed is loved by a lot of people because it has a good harmony, though I don't think the story itself, like, this is the thing, I think, just to tie all this together, like, the interactions that Sonic has in that game, and, you know, I don't think the story is good, I don't think the premise is good, I don't think the plot is good, and I think a lot of people confuse that for Sonic's the harmony between how Sonic acts, how he moves in the game, how he like the world, and just generally like the direction that Griffith was given. I don't think Griffith is even my. It's hard for me to say who my favorite Sonic voice actor is, for example, in terms of the English cast. But like out of the 4 that we've had, but it's just like they had a really good harmony and balance, and I don't think that should be chalked up to the Japanese people at Sega writing the story. I think that should that praise should be given to Jason and the English localization team.
Mm-hmm.
Sega's always had communication problems, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I
just
think
look
that,
at the fucking Dreamcast.
I think that Unleashed, I want to say that Unleashed Sonic, like the Unleashed English is like the best like thing that they captured from like the Japanese version, like in terms of like how Junichi's Sonic is. But I think that Ryan Drummond does a really good job of capturing like early Junichi, in my opinion. Like that's just how I feel. Like early Junichi is very excitable and hot and high energy, and that's like what Sonic needed to be for those first few games.
Yeah, I just think that times change, and I think that like Unleashed has stood the test of time better in terms of like character interactions and story when compared to like games from before and even after it. But I don't think that Unleashed is a good story. I think the premise is really bland. I think it's really boring. I think Heroes conversely has a good story despite this, because Heroes owns the fact that it's simple. It's very deliberately basic, whereas Unleashed is very much like Smash Ultimate. As I was saying before, it's like it has this big story, and it's like, okay, Unleashed, this is going to sound like a really weird comparison, but Unleashed has the character interactions it brought. Okay, no. Here's a better example. Unleashed is Subspace. They both came out in 2008, and that's not a coincidence. Seriously though, like, the character interactions in Unleashed are great. The character interactions in Brawl's story were great. But the inherent, like, everything behind that, and, like, the plot is just a whole load of nothing. But that's fine. But you don't see people, and I think, actually, no, you do see people praising, Brawl, and, like, who just opened my door? Okay, never mind. But you do see people praising Brawl's story, quote unquote. It's not the story that's the problem. It's like the plot, And I think you can like something like Unleashed's plot or Brawl's plot, but it's the character interactions and the way that everything is handled with like a ton of nuance that is really like what's good here. And I hope to God that more modern Sonic games take note of that, but not the story of Unleashed. And I think that having that idea of like a semi epic plot is what kind of made Forces suck, because Forces has a similar like premise to Unleashed in terms of it's going for this very like this story with stakes, but it's got like it's not like as dark or as like serious as 06 or even Adventure 2. But it's very muted in terms of its character interactions, and I think that's why Unleashed was so strong at that. I just don't think that it's the plot, I just think that it's everything else.
I feel like Unleashed has a lot more sort of fans really love Unleashed. Like, people who write and draw comics and stuff like that, because Unleashed has a lot of like potential for good character interaction, and also has a lot of potential for, again, going back to like the dark story versus light story. There are certain people in the Sonic community that really like the idea of Sonic games having a very dark story, and Unleashed has a lot of potential for that they don't really go into, but other people are willing to sort of inject into the game via fan creations.
Okay, so like I think I don't know why I said anything like that. Sorry. I think I think the reason why Forces disappointed me so much is I felt like a game like that would have worked much better if it was structured like Unleashed. Because something I really liked about Unleashed, as I mentioned this before with the hub worlds and stuff like that, is that Unleashed felt more open-ended than it actually was, because I felt like the way it was presented, just I think it was presented really well. I think the hub worlds and Sonic games, I feel like that's a really good place for you to have, like, make room for those like smaller character interactions and stuff like that, and really like dive into the nuances of every character and stuff like that. I think as a whole, if something, I felt like something like that would have been perfect in Forces, because I feel like if you're having a type of story where the entire world has been taken over by the one dude and everyone is like, sort of either like, part of a resistance or they're in hiding or something like that, that'd be a really good opportunity for you to do world building and stuff like that and really play around with these different characters and all that stuff. But none of that was in Forces. You know what I mean? I think the problem I had with it is that it was a game about war, but it didn't really dive into any of the themes related with war.
But you see, this is how you write yourself.
War.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this is how you write yourself into a corner. It's because you make the serious topic, and then to explore it, oh wait, we can't because it's a kids game. So, and I think Hogwarts would have been a better way to do that. I agree.
Yeah, I think you could still do that with, Forces, even if it was like a kids game and stuff like that. Because like obviously you don't have to go into the like nitty gritty stuff in terms of like war themes and
The
whatnot.
psychological warfare on classic Sonic.
But I think
someone somewhere was like, I want Sonic to have been tortured for 6 months out in space.
Right.
But didn't think about the fact that this is an E-rated game that little kids are gonna play.
Because like you can't.
Hold on, let me put. Hold on.
And I think that was another miscommunication between the localization team. It's just like that's not in the Japanese version of Forces at all. So,
I think
that's just another iffy, a big thing that they did with the communication between teams and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think going back to your point on like hub worlds from way before, it's like I think hub worlds should not be okay. I think interacting with characters in hub worlds helps, but I think that a story should be able to supplement itself to the point where you don't do that. Because if I'm being totally honest, I'm not the kind of person, I know so many people are the same, not the type of person to go around a hub world and talk to characters. Now, what I think a hub world should be for in a platformer is exploration is part of it. It really depends on the game. I don't know if Sonic would benefit from it. But see, the reason why I think... Because let's break down the hub worlds for a second. We have 06, SA1, Advanced 3, and Unleashed, right? Now, the reason why I think the only good one out of those is Adventure 1 is because it's small enough and contained to the point where, it's not 06's hub world, and it's big enough to the point where it feels necessary on, like, Advanced 3's hub world. Now, why don't I like Unleashed's hub worlds is because Adventure 1 feels like an extension of the game. I think Adventure 1, and in any platformer, it's so great to have a place to run around and test your shit. I can spin dash jump through the Mystic Ruins all damn day, but when you put me in an Unleashed hub world, I fall asleep because I can't boost around an Unleashed hub world. It doesn't feel...
Can't boost, can't drift, can't stomp,
That's because the boost is just a shit playstyle.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a problem with the boost, but like... I guess that's the thing. Like that's why I don't like the hub worlds in Unleashed, because you can talk to NPCs and world build, but that goes back to my earlier point about the plot of Unleashed not being very good, so they had to rely on hub worlds, and the hub worlds themselves don't serve that. They serve that purpose, but then they forget the real purpose of a hub world and a platformer, which is to experiment. And when you have like, see, that's why I love Mario Odyssey so much, because that whole game feels like a hub world. It feels you can experiment in those levels so much, and even like other Mario games to compare, like Mario Galaxy 1 has a hub world that I think is a little too big, but I think that it's the perfect place for testing out triple jumps and long jumps and seeing how far you can make it from one edge of it to the other, and it's just it's great. And I think
Right.
Unleashed completely misses at least the gameplay side of it to make up for a part that the story should have already been good at.
Right. Yeah.
You can't just substitute plot with
With
a hub world,
with-
a lackluster hub world.
with characters that I don't give a fuck about. Steve from fucking the burger stand, like
Minecraft.
Steve. No, like
Minecraft
the
Steve
burger
is the
stand.
burger selling me fucking burgers and fucking chocolate chip fucking.
Alex
You
also
wanna
from
buy some
Minecraft.
Sundays?
Oh,
You wanna
yeah.
buy a super duper chocolate chip?
You guys want
sundae
to talk about
fucking-
Chip?
I love
Oh,
Chip.
Chip. Let me
Ian.
tell you about fucking Chip. All right, let me tell you.
All right, let's go.
Let me tell
Let's
you
go.
something.
I want to hear about Chip.
He's not that bad.
Facts. He's
I
like
just hate when he becomes a fucking giant rock monster and fights the ugly ass fucking
because this game has no plot and it makes no sense.
earth
Yeah.
core monster.
They just
Fucking-
gave
up.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
I feel
Yeah.
like
I like Chip. I wish he had a better voice actor.
I like Chip.
So
too.
do I.
think Chip was pretty
You-
cool.
you
I
like to-
like everything about Chip. I'm fine with
Ethan, the only reason you want Chip to have a different voice actor is because he kind of sounds like you.
What?
Oh!
Oh, you want to fight, huh?
Oh!
No, he. D-
Okay,
Oh.
not a better voice actor. I just wish he hadn't shrilled it.
I
Like,
am
he's
going
really-
to punch you, man.
See what I
Listen,
don't.
Paul, you don't
what I-
wanna be like me.
My problem with Chip is that I don't get why he needs to. Okay, the reason why Chip is in the game is so he can turn into a rock monster at the end. Not because of his relationship with Sonic, because it's so thin. Like,
Right.
and so it's like, why are you here, bitch? Like, go away. Like, I really don't think Sonic needs a Navi-like figure. It feel like in Zelda games they're very slow paced compared to Sonic. They're adventure games. It doesn't. It feels fine to have a. I still think Zelda can go overboard like Fi in Skyward Sword, but I think that when Zelda gets a little bit slow paced, and I think it's fine to have that. Sonic doesn't need it because I am the character. You know, I feel. Oh no, okay, it's the reverse. In Zelda, you are Link. You can choose your name at the start of the game, except for Breath of the Wild. You know, you are
Wait,
that
you can't
character.
choose your name in Breath of the Wild?
No, because
I don't
Link's an
think so.
actual like character.
Yeah,
but,
and I
like,
think that's
people
why-
address him as Link. So
Yeah, I
you
think
can't
that's
change your
why
name.
Breath of the Wild kind of failed in that regard. But I do think.
Oh, I have something to say about Breath of the Wild. Actually.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, it's just like
Sonic podcast.
Sonic.
This is Sonic.
Hey, we were talking about Power Rangers before, all right? This
Right.
is whatever.
True.
But I do think that when it comes to Zelda, I'm pretty sure even Miyamoto said something like this. Miyamoto or Aonuma, someone when Ocarina of Time was coming out. But you are supposed to be in the shoes of that character, and no matter how Link acts in Majora, in Ocarina, in Twilight Princess, or even Skyward Sword, where he has a lot of funny character interactions, and that's one of my favorite Links. Or even Wind Waker. You know, you have this character that you feel is at least an extension of you because the game's very slow paced, whatever, right? You know, you can take things in more than you can when compared to Sonic, who is an actual character with his own thoughts and feelings that does not need to be guided by this pixie. And
Right,
That is my problem with Chip. I don't hate him. I just hate the
It's
fact that he needs to
unnecessary.
be there. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
imagine playing Sonic Adventure, but Tikal was there all the time.
Oh no! Oh no!
Like I think because what's it called? Breath of the Wild was one of those games too that a lot of people are like, oh, I wish there was more of a story here or something like that. But like the plot in Breath of the Wild is irrelevant because it's so simple. You don't need to delve into it anymore. No. Defeat Calamity Ganon. That's all it is, right? What people actually wanted more of were the smaller character interactions between the champions. People wanted to actually see these characters interact and, sort of delve more into their personalities and stuff like that, which is what I wanted. I think the problem with Breath of the Wild is that all the stuff that's interesting happened like 100 years ago. So when you actually wake up, there's nothing for you to fucking do because you're there by yourself. And I think the same type of logic could be applied to Sonic, where the plot more so isn't something that's major, because it's a series that's driven by characters, and it always has been that way. You know what I mean? The main appeal of the series has always been the type of character that Sonic is. You know what I mean? Like, he was always being advertised as a cool, rambunctious, like, fast guy that just shits all over Mario. You know what I mean? And as you went on, they would introduce characters that were just as memorable. You know what I mean? They had Tails, and they had Amy, and they had Metal Sonic, and obviously there was Robotnik and stuff like that. And I feel like you could apply that same type of logic to the games nowadays, because what people really aren't looking for is, we don't really care too much about the plot. Is more so we want to see these characters kind of interact with each other on screen. You know what I mean? Like, I thought they were going to do a lot more with Sonic and Infinite when Forces was coming out than they actually did. The main reason why I was so ready for Forces story was because I thought there were going to be a lot of character interactions and them playing around with the characters in these different ways, because it was a game about war. You know what I mean? And so when the game actually launched and we had these like bland, tasteless, one-dimensional interpretations of these characters, I was just like really disappointed. There are some definitely good character moments in this game, but for me, most of them were in episode Shadow, and they weren't even in cutscenes. They were like the little fucking radio chats that they have and stuff like that. Like, those were more interesting to me than anything else that happened in the rest of the game. And I think that's a problem that Sonic writing needs to, like, I guess, address or tackle going into the future. Like, as a whole, I feel like if they have this really cool character that everyone is really attached to, they should do something with him instead of just like delegating them to the one character traits and having that be all they are on screen. You know what I mean? Tails is the smart one, but because he's smart, he can't do anything else. Sonic is the leader guy, and he's kind of fast, but that means he's kind of like impatient too, so he's always a dick to everybody. Like, shit like that is just that's not what I'm about when it comes to seeing Sonic stories unfold and stuff like that. Just kind of, I guess, making it a little bit more bearable as a whole, so that it's not the one character trait.
Yeah, I agree. I think.
Wait, Cryptic, weren't you gonna say something about Breath of the Wild?
No,
yeah,
he did.
That's what I. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mainly like the champions and stuff, and like the interaction. But I don't know. I think my biggest problem with Unleashed is its gameplay, and I think I kind of dived into that. And we've been going for almost 2 hours now, and I think we might need to wrap it up soon. But I do think that
my food's getting cold.
My food's getting cold. I haven't eaten today, and it's like 8 p.m. But
yeah, I haven't eaten either.
I only had that coffee.
Yeah, I could tell. I could hear it. I could hear the slurping. But oh no! But what? It's just the gameplay. Like, fuck this. Like I've said it tons of times, so I don't feel like I have a lot to say. But it's a long didn't read. The boost is better in Generations. He controls better when he's not boosting, and the level design is a lot more varied and wider. Unleashed feels like a hallway for a lot of it. And the Werehog is awful. It doesn't control well. The levels last for too long, and that's not because I suck at it. Like, trust me.
Right, no, yeah, I'm pretty good at the game too, but it still takes me like 20 minutes.
Yeah, like, they last longer than they need to regardless.
Yeah, the thing with the Werehog level, they can be fun, but at the same time, I always dread having to...
Yeah.
Long.
I
Like,
can
even
only
if
do, like,
you don't... Even if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that...
Especially if you're trying to get other levels.
God.
Like, so you can unlock more levels, get more...
No.
The
It's
medals
so
are...
obnoxious.
The medals are so backwards because it's this game that promotes going fast and blazing through everything at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But hold on, wait a minute. I just saw a medal. I need to stop and backtrack. The camera doesn't turn around.
That's what...
To progress through the game.
Yeah, I think if
Last
you remove
thing-
the
It just has
medals,
like a little side thing.
if you remove the medals, Unleashed is a million times better already.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
I think
Also,
I think
make
the
it-
last thing I'm gonna say on this is that Sega just has to stop with the boost. The boost is not gonna work because whenever they use the boost, they have to artificially inflate the playtime with like shit like classic Sonic or collectibles or something. You gotta stop. It's not sustainable at all, and I genuinely think that they should move on to something else. 'Cause,
yeah,
like,
I think that
what
the
type of-
boost is like the best gameplay style for modern Sonic in terms of fun for me, but I don't think it's worth the pace, like the forced pacing, like the workarounds, like design wise that they have to do for it. The fact that the games will take years and years to make these tiny ass levels. I don't think it's effective on them, and I think that it's really draining them, and it's you can tell.
because it's such a broken, like, what type of, in what reality does it make sense for you to have a platformer, but instead of making it so that the platforming is kind of fast paced, but you can still, like, you can still platform, you just go through the levels, you just boost through them and boost through everything without having to pay attention, and then they have these tiny ass sections where you have to slow down because it's a platformer and that's obligatory. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have a platformer that just, like, runs through everything, destroys it's like an invincibility button. You know what I mean? And then it takes you to the end of the stage. I just don't think it's very good, and I don't think it's worth any of the, like,
The
any of
hassle,
the yeah, it's just not worth it.
And then another thing with the whole boost thing is that when you're playing through certain levels in Unleashed where you need drift, and it's so difficult to do it when you're going that fast, but you have to do it if you want to, like, get through the pace.
Right? Yeah.
Like all
Oh
of
god, you just reminded
you
me of
know.
like the quick time events in Unleashed.
Oh yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
quick time events. I tried playing Bayonetta 1. They have those up the ass and you just die. It's like, alright. You know,
I
like...
feel like a fucking celebrity in this town.
Oh, I love that. I love Bayonetta. Just make this a Bayonetta podcast, please. She's so
Oh,
great.
blimey,
Mango,
you're a funny one.
you
Tell me
know
another
what?
joke.
Flop
And
on
then
the
act like
Bayonetta
I don't
podcast.
know nobody.
Alright, shit. I think we should end this pretty soon. We've been here for a while.
We've
Nah,
been
I
here
don't
for a
think
little
so.
over 2 hours. Yeah.
I mean, my main goal is to blow up and act like I don't know.
I think-
nobody.
I think we're all getting a little bit delirious, so I will cut this short, I guess. We got a lot of views today as well, so thank you all for watching. I'm deafening in the call because, you know, you guys all know where to find us. We have, in the video upload of this, we'll have all of our Twitter links in the description. You know, you guys will all be able to find us. I hope you enjoyed Finalhazard Season 2, Episode 2, and we will see you guys next time. So, have a good one. Check out the rest of our episodes. Check out Martin's series as well. And everything else that we do here on Figure 8. Have a good one.